Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. I hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. It's almost October and that means that Call of Duty cheating dramas are certainly back on the menu. Doug St. Martin and a mysterious hacker known as X are looking into the behind the scenes files of some serious big name cheating website it seems to find out which players are actually cheating by looking into the APIs. So much content and drama and honestly hilarious stuff that came out as a result of this last night. We're going to dive into all of it today. Very much intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you are new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. Really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that one. Firstly though, we've got to talk about the possibility of changes to Modern Warfare 2 after the beta feedback. Of course, yes, console versus PC, thought it was pretty funny here from Crone. But look, Infinity Ward came out. They did a post after the beta, right? And they said, hey, this is what we heard your feedback on, and these are the changes we are going to make. So this is what they said. Now, it's always comedy really here, where, of course, the majority of the feedback was on specific things that really they haven't particularly addressed. Now, I guess the footsteps, look, we've got to take the positives here with the problems with this game, at least from a competitive perspective. And, well, the changes they will be making. Footstep audio, they will be further adjusting it. They'll probably reduce it by 1 or 2%, pretty negligible. But they say they are going to make some changes there. Now, whether that includes anything around dead silence or ninja or whatever, it doesn't seem very likely or promising at this point because they didn't mention that specifically. We can only hope at that point they want some weapon balancing updates for launch, some visibility improvements. That, in fairness, is kind of a big one. Potential solutions for disbanding lobbies, which, of course, look, the disbanding thing has come around the last few years because skill-based matchmaking, you do one game, it resets your skill-based matchmaking level, and then, you can't even see, of course, and then it puts you in a new lobby. It's what's the point even playing pubs? Might as well be ranked play at that point. And yeah, changes to the third-person camera view and just general bug fixes. So nothing really major compared to what we wanted, as in minimap changes, dead silence being a perk or something, or at least changing the field upgrades so it's actually usable rather than sending a message to Mars whenever you try and activate the thing. And then of course skill-based matchmaking was never going to go away. But I mean, yeah, look, so red dots on the minimap, nothing really changing. Maybe a couple of positive things to take away from this, but we know full well at this point, right, that when the beta is over, that's pretty much the game you're going to get on launch. They can change things if they wanted to, right, but we know how it tends to go, that the beta is pretty much just the full game at this point. It's just a demo, just, a playthrough of what the real game's going to be like, and of course, as a result, lots of people refunding their pre-orders, and I think understandably so, with the current state of the game. We shall see if anything changes on launch, but hopefully there are still some positive things to take away, such as we'll see in a second, the ranked play, but also as they describe here once again in their article, they don't want to do the nameplates. Now, I honestly really like Merc's explanation here as to why this might actually be a good idea for them to kind of think about the nameplates in a different way, just because we don't necessarily want to be shooting at nameplates, right? The visibility is pretty bad. Nameplates over their heads are just an easy fix. Now, look, I still think they should be there regardless. Not sure why they need to be removed. As far as I'm concerned, it's Call of Duty doing it again, where they managed to take a feature which is perfectly valid and just, reinvent the wheel for seemingly no reason. But, Merc is probably right that actually they should just work on improving the visibility rather than having the easy fix of the nameplates. Make it so the enemies can actually be seen. That'd be viable in the first place, right? So, I mean, look, we've had these issues in previous games also, but hopefully if they fix the visibility, then you don't need the nameplate, I suppose is the argument here, which is probably fair enough. Do you actually trust Infinity Ward to deliver on that, though? That, of course, is another question entirely. Now, ranked play real quick, of course, because we did see some mention of ranked play, thankfully, in the launch event they did a little bit ago now. And apparently the strings for ranked play or whatever, the coding, something like that, is actually in the game file. So ranked play is in the game. Apparently it looks like it's going to be like Vanguard ranked with a few tweaks. So hopefully those tweaks are for the better, right? But look, Vanguard ranked was okay. It gets the job done. It obviously got a lot of people interested. They've got the leaderboards and stuff. So hopefully a similar game mode like that in Modern Warfare 2, hopefully at launch or very shortly after launch. I think it's understandable if it comes out a week or two after launch, because usually the game launches, it takes about a week or so for anyone to figure out, okay, what are the maps? What should the rule set be? About a week or so's time after you have a ground zero rule set in what the pros are going to play on. And maybe that's when you drop ranked play with those rules, because otherwise, unless the pros give their ideas before the game launches, which I'm sure they will do, but even then the pros haven't played every map, right? So it's kind of difficult to say what it should be. But look, as long as we don't get ranked play in February this time, and hopefully if the game files are already in the game, that at least is a positive side. So trying to take away the positives that we can. But I mean, yeah, of course, this came out around about a similar time last year, where the game was about to launch after the Vanguard beta had happened, where Sledgehammer Games added Ninja. The Ninja bug has been added to allow you to have silent footsteps all the time. So that was a good time. And yes, Infinity Ward seemingly not quite so keen on making changes along those lines. Let's dive then into all this cheating shenanigans. We talked about this briefly last night. That Censor was kind of going, right, work. He was looking at the Vanguard leaderboards, looking at some of the guys challenging him for his #1 position, thinking, look, these guys, bit dodgy, can I somehow expose them? Now, he obviously got in touch with this guy called X, who, honestly, the voice changer gag is just hilarious. We'll see it in a second. And along with a guy named X, they've managed to figure out a way, I guess it was X who really figured out this way, well, to access the behind-the-scenes API of one of the big cheating websites, which I'm guessing some of the cheaters get their cheats from. Now, what this allows them to do is when the cheats are injected, as they so eloquently describe, into the game of the guy who's downloaded the cheats, then it stores on the website, right? They kind of get like a back feed or whatever from the person who installed them, what their kind of Activision ID is or whatever. And seemingly this loophole that X is able to access can give him the full list of guys or like whoever has actually downloaded these cheats and installed them or injected them into their game, as we shall see in a second. So Doug was all over this one. He's managed to find out a way where for this particular site they can access the back end and figure what's going on. Now, Doug didn't mention the specific site because, okay, look, he doesn't want to advertise it, but also probably a good idea not to maybe let them know, even though they probably full well know now there is this loophole in place where people can access their behind the scenes, and maybe they're going to find a way to patch this up so that X and co can't any longer look into this stuff. And maybe it was worth keeping it quiet to make sure they get the absolute full list, or, you know, maybe look into the Warzone side of things, because I believe for now this is just for Vanguard effectively, and the Warzone question is yet to be answered, but I think X and his boys are still looking into it. But yeah, Detective Doug was certainly on the case, and he believes this is a way where you can well, expose all hackers, potentially everyone on the Vanguard leaderboards, also, you know, people like Nadia, of course, questions around her from the Warzone side. Like that is the key question right now that many are wanting an answer to, whether they can actually solve this issue or at least expose these people so they can get banned from the game entirely. That would, of course, be the ideal case scenario. Now, look, X comes in at the flank last night, just absolutely hilarious, right? He doesn't want to reveal his identity, which I suppose is understandable, and he comes in with a straight-up voice changer. So, like, look, I'll share a couple of minutes of clips here from this, where Doug is explaining how it works, and X comes through, and X was just, like, trying not to crack up here with the voice changer, and then Ben's kind of asking some questions, then X is coming back. Just absolutely hilarious content.
Doug, you actually got something?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I specifically blocked out the cheating website because I don't want to promote them. If you guys want to know who it is, I can tell you off stream, but I'm not trying to promote a cheating website. He made a brand new account, called it Spooked. You search.
Is it just looking for usernames on the cheat website? Because what's stopping someone from like impersonating someone and downloading cheats? And
well, it gives the actual Activision ID as well, the specific ID of the Activision. Okay. If you use this cheating website, specifically this cheating website, it will give the exact Activision ID. So
is this cheating website like a real popular one?
Yeah, it is. That's why I blocked it with you, Pat. Back it up right there, Tom.
Time out. Is it the Activision ID that's registered on the website, or actually using the cheats?
Actually using the cheats. Literally using the cheats itself. And that's what you're going to see here. So if you go to the end, right here, pause it. You see how it says Spooked is not available? Like you can't see Spooked? Like go to the bottom there and then pause it like at the very bottom when it's like in red.
Activision ID Spooked could not be found in any partition. That's what it says.
So now he's injected the cheats. So now
stop saying injected, bro. Just say install.
He injected the tweet. He literally injected the cheats. So now he's gonna search for his name immediately after injecting the cheats, and you're gonna see in about, I don't know, 20-30 seconds or so.
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit here until it pops up. So right here, what is this, Doug? What is this? This is
That's the specific Activision ID that launched Vanguard with the cheats.
Okay. What's up, X? What's going on?
Going perfectly fine.
Oh my god.
Okay, so Ben, ask your question so we can.
So I got a couple of questions.
Of course.
Question one.
You listening, X?
So you're pulling from the cheating website that's getting the Activision ID when the cheats are linked, correct? Is that essentially how this is working?
The specific
yes,
ID.
And the Activision ID is only given when it is injected into your PC and Vanguard loads.
You're saying there's no way for someone to like sign up and be like Zuma and know Tommy's Activision ID, and then that way he gets false flagged.
The only way that could happen is if someone injected these cheats on Zuma's PC, because like I said, this gets your Activision ID from injecting, not manually typing in the website.
Let me ask you this. Can you expose Warzone people too? Because Joe Wo's in the chat right now. He's nervous right now. He's nervous. He thinks...
Sadly, this is only for Vanguard, as it's a much smaller player group and counts, and that's why I think there was less security deemed towards it, even though this is a very secure-based cheat provider and has been undetected forever. But even though we only could get Vanguard, we're working on Warzone soon.
And of course, during these whole shenanigans, right, we got this screenshot that came out here. So I guess the idea is that Doug and X came up with this account called Spooked. They made this account from scratch. They logged onto the website, kind of like bought the cheats or whatever. And then before it was injected into the game, they weren't appearing on the list of players that had downloaded this stuff. And then when it was, then the Activision ID of the account that it's installed onto then gets backfilled into the website, I suppose. So here it is, right? So then you've even got this Spawn Kill guy, like who then people were asking, hang on a second, is Spawn Kill? I don't really know this guy, but still, apparently this guy might be hacking as well. So that's the thing, right? That apparently you've got this full list. So Doug is obviously all over this right now. The dude called the Ultimate Stray of 2022 because they pulled it up on the website so they can see it on this particular site. Now, unfortunately, I don't know yet. Look, X seems like a pretty smart guy. Obviously, he's got the voice changer on, so he's got good reason to be trying to hide his identity or whatever's going on there. But look, whether this exploit that they are using to find the names of people who have downloaded and actually installs or injected the hacks, then whether they can replicate that for other engine like websites or whatever, or whether they can do that for Warzone. Obviously, he said at the end that they're working on managing to do this for Warzone as well, because I know that Joe Woe was saying, I got a second, this could be a little bit sketchy for me. But I mean, yeah, look, Doug's going all out. If you hack, I will find you. And this really is great stuff. Of course, as yet, I don't believe we have like a full list or anything of anyone on the website, but I'm sure that like hopefully they didn't jump the gun here in the sense that either this cheating website now having, whatever it is, having figured this out, can now shut down the loophole they're exploiting. You'd imagine they would have either saved all the names or whatever and have a list somewhere or other of which people have actually downloaded and installed this. Of course, the list is going to be immense, right? And you're going to have to probably, search for specific names, which I believe is what Doug was doing yesterday. So hopefully they can find a way to do this elsewhere. And I mean, look, I'm just surprised in the first place that Activision don't more easily take down these type of websites. We saw yesterday, like the engine owning one or whatever it's called. Like, they just have a Twitter account that posts on the cheats that they sell, and like no one really does anything about it apart from roasting them in the comments. Like, that's all that seems to happen. And hopefully if Activision like understands a bit more about this, and also like you can expose some of these cheaters, then they can just get banned from the game. We know that some of the tryout guys, especially from the ranked play perspective, that run the ranked play system in Vanguard, they're pretty keen to help out where they can to ban some of these people. Whether you can ban them for life, whether the Ricochet anti-cheat actually does anything at all against these type of cheats, that's another question, right? But I mean, look, Doug's on the case. Detective Doug, he's back in the building. Of course, Detective Doug a good few years ago with the whole wiretapping thing. If you guys don't know the story of that, look into it, but it's a funny one where I think it was during the World War II season where like teams had to play pro point matches, so you had to log on to game battles and play your like 5 pro point matches a day to get your 25 pro points in, and the pro point kind of accruals for the teams were crucial for seeding and stuff for the events. But a lot of the teams, like, who wants to really log on when you could be scrimming and practicing and playing tournaments, like to play your 5 pro point matches a day against like players that are obviously nowhere near your caliber as a pro player. So I think some of these pros were kind of like either outsourcing it or they were getting free wins. They were like get other accounts to appear on the ladder and then they would just get a free win against them and stuff like this. And Doug obviously wanted to look into this because he thought that I think players like Nameless or their team were kind of abusing this. And Doug turned up to one event with like a wire strapped to him to try and like effectively catch Nameless talking about it. I think it was Nameless or whoever it was. Like Doug with the wire meme is obviously an OG classic in the CoD scene, and he's back in the building now, but a slightly different turn of events here. So thought it was interesting stuff, no doubt. Of course, the entire Flank episode was entertaining. I'll leave it link for you guys down below if it's already on YouTube, and if it's not, then I'm sure you guys can find it yourself in due course. And just to mention this, because today was a pretty funny episode, so I thought I'll just throw this in regardless because it's just so absurd. I think we even mentioned this, right? The Cardi B is some music video had this like necklace on with a Call of Duty related thing going on, and she tweeted out last night saying this: "My stupid decisions from the past caused me to miss out on money now. I had a multi-million-dollar Call of Duty deal on the table that I couldn't take because of court." So she's got some like court case. I don't really follow the Cardi B drama, but still, something like that's happening. Guys, think twice about those quick decisions. Lesson learned. So apparently she had a lot of money on the line for this Call of Duty deal that's now going to fall through because of some, like, she needs to be present for some court date or something. So Call of Duty scene continues to go crazy, but very much enjoyed your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new. Take care, and I'll see you next time.